and welcome back to Stranded Deep. You find ourselves once again in the map editor, and there's a couple of changes. These objects have now appeared on the map. This one was here before, the other one, wasn't. And I was testing camera. I was testing why these seaforts tend not to spawn or appear in the map once you have created a custom map. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And it turns out, kind of unreliably, that if you place a seafort on the outside somewhere and save it, like you would expect the seafort to be, it seems to appear. If you place it closer to the center of the island, it appears on the billboard, as in you can kind of see it on the approach, but then as soon as the island renders in properly and it goes from low level of detail to, I guess, high level of detail, it disappears. It vanishes, which is crazy. It's not actually there. There's no collision or anything. It just is not on your island. So you can see it from afar, but you can't see it close up. So we're going to get rid of that because I don't need it. And we're going to have to get rid of this. This here. Let's make sure we are actually removing the right thing. Good. Well, not good, bad. So what did we do last time? We came around and we put a load of trees and stuff in. We need to put a lot more of that in. There's plenty of food. There's plenty of leaves and bits and pieces that people can pick up. Good. Yeah, we're kind of in the later stages of this. We do need to finish this place off. I reckon it's either going to be this episode or next episode, and then we are pretty much donezo. Dungeon rings and everything will be good, and then we can release it to the world, and everyone will be happy. Good. Fine. So let's do something here real quick. Let's do something right here. Let's pull this in. Rotate, press T, bring it down, rotate a little bit more. Okay, another rock. I want that one. So rotate you back. Okay, press T and bring you down. What are you doing? Oh, things just playing basically. Yeah, we can't have nice things apparently. So we're going to have to play around. We're going to have to take these rocks and just kind of play around with them. Hello, rock. Fortunately, it seems to be fairly okay in terms of speed, I guess. It doesn't require a supercomputer to run this island, which is nice. So that's handy. That's something I'm kind of worried about. So we got some rocks there. I'm just going to go to terrain real quick. Raise, fine size. How big is that? Tell you what. Let's turn the ocean off so we can actually see. Fine. We'll go back here, change the size down. That's about the right size. The amount it all the way down because, you know, that thing is going to be a pain in the butt. We have created this little horseshoe of stuff. Let's make it smaller and just use a harder edge brush. And then use a softer edge brush over here. Did I click over there? I don't know. So what we're doing is we're just piling stuff up essentially, and then we'll soften it out using this. Why are we not got the soft brush? I want the soft brush. Give it. Okay, so we'll soften this off, and it's going to go down and down. Let's change the size up a bit. That's better. That's what we're talking about. Yes. Yeah, good. Go back to objects and just kind of refine this slightly. So pull you in a little bit more. We can rotate you using the green toggle here. And blue. Ugh, this is a little bit tricky just because of the way the toggles and everything work. But that's fine. We have time now. We had time now. Oh, there was time now. That's the Twilight episode. That's the one where he breaks his glasses at the end. It's like, there was time now. And he can't read on any of the books in the library. Oh. Okay, fine. So we've created a little horseshoe of stuff. It's not as cool as having Yeah, we need to bring this down a bit. This is too much. So we'll bring it down a bit. Yes. Set height. Bring it here and just kind of cut that off. Nice. Hopefully that will all disappear. It did. Excellent. Smooth. Make that bigger. Smooth it off a little bit more. Cool. We're getting somewhere at least. Objects. I think this is too much. Let's delete that. That's fine. Small rocks then. We'll use the small rocks. It'll be much better. Much better. Green toggle is the one we want. Nice. And I think we could probably stand to rotate that a little bit more. Yep. Let's rotate it on its axis. Yes. I'm liking it. Ooh, work the camera. I watched what did I watch? I watched it was a film and it was on last night. But it wasn't on last night. But it was. Ghostbusters 2. Oh wow, yeah. I think was it 1989 that thing came out. It's a lot of people say, ooh, it is not the best Ghostbusters. Well yeah, I gotta say the original Ghostbusters film was pretty sweet. But it's not bad. It's not bad as far as films go. Certainly not as weird as the 2016 Ghostbusters. It's a lot of people are like, oh, if you don't like it, you're just a horrible man face. And I'm like, no. One of the big problems is everyone was allowed to ad-lib and it didn't work. They need to stick with the script a little bit nice, a little bit closer to the script. I don't even know if there was a script. It was just a lot of people going, ooh, you know what, I've got a joke. I'm just going to tell it to the camera real quick. And I'm like, that's not how you make a film. Oh well. But yeah, Ghostbusters 2, it's okay. The original one's obviously the best. So we're going to throw some trees in. What are we going to do? PQRS. Yeah, we came to the realization there wasn't actually that many trees. It was like, oh, hang on a second. There's not actually that many trees. We need to rotate you, don't we? Yes, we do. It's perfect. Not that way, though. Ooh. Actually, I don't know if we rotate. No. I think it's because we need it to be more like this. Okay, cool. And make sure these roots are both in the ground. And that is the wrong one. Very much the wrong one. We are bad people. Okay, cool. No, camera, please. Oh, camera. This is not the time for this. So we will move this, and then yeah. Okay, cool. And then we can throw some planty plants down. Kura ficus. Oh yeah, that's the thing, wasn't it? We'll do this. Pop you in the ground a little bit more, and then R to rotate. You can just sort of be there. Do we want to put a little, like a medicinal shrub underneath it? I guess we could. Like, find the ficus, find the prize. Could do that. No, PP. Will PP sit in there? It would actually go in there quite well. It would go in there quite well. Oh. Well then, I mean, it's a fairly simple thing that we've done. We've replaced something that doesn't work with something that kind of does. I just will make sure these leaves are not kind of touching the palm trees too much. So we'll pop that out of the ground and pop it back in the ground. And that fills that gap in real nice. And I think the other one's not touching anything anyway. And over here, is this uncomfortable? A little bit. But we can fix that. So bring you out and pop you back in the ground. Yeah, that's okay. So we've just kind of added another little thing. What did this have as its little prize? Oh yeah, the aloe vera. Okay, Bob Ross's bush. Happy little bush. So we have just filled in something that doesn't work with something that does work. Good. Is there anything else we need to do? Well, I kind of A quick pass around the island with some more foliage, I think, is definitely something we need to do. Hit terrain, hit objects, so we don't have anything selected. And then we can install a tiny picture of the Queen and some reef sharks. Oh, that would be nice. It would be delightful. We can have some reef sharks and some items. Let's throw some items in first, because one of the things we are going to need to do is give people things, stuff. Why are we looking at trees? Are they going to be under trees or items? We're looking for sticks, essentially. So interestingly, the palm frond is under trees when it is in fact an item. So are the logs. I don't have a problem throwing logs and stuff down. I do have a bit of a problem throwing down lots and lots of just like items, I guess. It's just, it kind of defeats the point of the game. I still maintain that. I maintain it. It is something we will do. But if you are in the forest, you do kind of expect a few things to appear, to happen. So we'll just throw a few logs. What we'll do is we'll rotate them so they are kind of in line with the ground. They're physics object after all. They'll just drop down. They won't stay in the air. We'll just make sure that is actually not touching the island mesh. So do the same thing over here. Means if people want to chop up some wood or whatever, they can do it without having to straight away just start demolishing the island. So it's more of a, for us, it's more of a just taking care of people's gameplay needs than providing them with lots of gifts. We, as an island, as a map creator, do not care for people's things. It's like, oh, but we need this stuff to build our base. No, that's not what we're doing. We're making somewhere interesting. And if that means we have to put stuff in, then, you know, that's what happens. Yeah, focus on making things interesting. You're not the player's friend. You're their frenemy. Because you know at some point you're going to make a map and not tell anyone, put a great white in there. Just right at the most spoopy moment. You just be like, oh, what a beautiful island! I'm going to go and have a little swim in the sea, and maybe get my ankles all wet. So tee because we are Victorian time travelers, don't you know? And it's a little bit risque to show your ankle in public. Oh, I don't know where I'm from though. Oh my word. Let's find some sticks. I don't know where I was going with that either, honestly. Oh yeah. And then the great white bites their legs off. So that's the thing. We've already put rocks in. Yeah, we already put rocks in. So just to recap, the rocks are already in these areas where there are shore rocks, so people can find those. We've got plenty of fibrous leaves that people can knock about, but we need to put in some sticks, because if someone lands on this island, this is like the first island they come to. They ain't going to be able to make anything because there ain't no sticks, and they can't punch a tree because it ain't Minecraft. So, items, let's find sticks. PQR machete. Refined spear. Stick. There it is. It's an item. It's an item. So we'll just chuck a bunch of these down. Fortunately, they are already laying sort of sideways a bit, so we'll just bring it up. So it's just touching just above the mesh, just in places that people are going to find it. Good. It's like, oh, the island is done. Can I play it? No. There's loads of stuff that's still left to do. That's the problem. That's why I'm saying it's like probably 1 or 2 more episodes, like this one and maybe the next one. Yeah, because there's a ton of things, and it's all these little things that you forget about. It's like, oh yeah, no, I can't build a hatchet because there's no material for me to pick up. Bearing in mind that for most people this will be covered in grass. For some people it won't be because they're playing on an Apple Mac. I mean, I've got nothing against Apple. I've got one somewhere, I think. No, Unix OS, brilliant operating system, reskinned with Rocket Dock. It's beautiful, I think, maybe. do have an iPad and an ear pod, which I use for watching YouTube in bed. For music, I use a Creative Zen, so that's a thing. And for everything else, I have a really powerful desktop. So, yeah, about that. No, this is just an old thing. When we were in IT, when I used to work in IT, people would come into the office and be like, "Oh, we need an entire suite of Apple Macs," and I'm like, "You what, mate?" "Oh, because we need to get video editing sorted, because we need to edit videos, and you need if you want to be creative, you need an Apple Mac." And I'm like, what? And they're like, "Oh yes, you can't possibly use a PC to make videos." And I'm like, sure. I'm not experienced in this at all, this video editing malarkey. But I'm pretty sure you're wrong. And they're like, "No, when I was in college, when were you in college? The 40s, the 1940s. What are you talking about? When you were in college, with their hindquarters flying overhead." And they're like, I do not want to talk to you anymore. I was actually banned from sending emails in my last place of work. It kind of, I mean, I probably was a bit confusing on the emails. But yeah, there's always been that thing where you get some people that are like, "Oh, I like Macs." My sister likes them. I don't know why. She's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to buy myself a laptop." And I'm like, "Get yourself up." And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to get myself an Apple Mac." And then straight away she was like, "Oh, I cannot play any of my old games." And I'm like, well, they're DOS games. You need DOSBox, and you need. I think you can set up DOSBox up with an Apple Mac. Apple Mac. Sorry, I'm just finding new and stupid ways to say it. I don't know why we've got into this topic of conversation. It's probably because I'm putting sticks down in a forest, because that's where sticks fall in a forest. It's kind of the detritus that falls from the trees, and that's the kind of where you expect to find material. So we're just kind of scattering them and moving them around. I have no idea of how many we've placed down, and for some reason we are now I was going to say bashing Sun's operating system, but no, it's genuinely a Unix operating system. Fun fact, if you ever watched Jurassic Park and you ruffled, or perhaps lolled, or perhaps just had a hearty titter when, what was her name? It was one of the kids, the girl. I can't remember the actor's name. But she said, it's Unix, I know this. And it was some weird 3D futuristic like interface. That's a real interface. You can actually get that, or could get that. And it was a 3D representation of a file structure. And it was a thing that existed. It was a real thing. So we've added sticks down, which is good. We're going to go around and add some other bits and pieces to the outside. Just click off that because I don't want to move it around. Plank, scrap. It's good. We need some stuff for people to be able to build, because they might want to build a house, they might want to build a pier, they might want to build a raft, they might want to repair the raft or expand the raft. I don't wait, you don't repair rafts. Beam team, do not take that as a suggestion. They might want to repair their PBY 5A Catalina, which they have somehow imported into the game. Wink, wink. Seriously, put one in the game. The gyrocopter was stupid. PBY Catalina. Consolidated Catalina is probably one of my favorite aeroplanes. Lots of problems in that they could not land in rough seas or deep water, because it would just destroy the hull. They're flying boats, essentially, if you don't know what one is. You've probably seen pictures of them before. They've been in film a lot. They've been used as many things, like rescue aircraft, patrol aircraft. They've been used to have they been used to put out fires? I want to say they have converted into firefighting. Yeah, they're interesting vehicles. Very interesting. I'm going to put some corrugated scrap down as well. So what we're doing is we're putting stuff around. So I have noticed that we've got something down here selected. So we're going to click terrain and click objects. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, the gyrocopter was an interesting choice to put into the game, and then reduce its ability to go anywhere by reducing the amount of, or having it a really a really high ratio of fuel that it needed to get anywhere. It's like uses twice as much fuel as the raft, so it can only really go to one island and back. But it's supposed to be end game, and it's your way out of here. So you're supposed to get the gyrocopter and fly into the sea, apparently. I'm not entirely sure about that. But if you want a fun time, look up the Fairy Rotodyne, which was a commercial gyrocopter. And again, one of the more interesting air vehicles that you could probably look up. They're very interesting. What they did is they took the exhaust from, I probably said this before actually on one of the episodes, but they took the exhaust from the engines and they ported it out of the, like a main rotor above the cabin. So it kind of looked a bit like a large helicopter with like two engines on the side. I think they were turbo props, and those things, you take the exhaust from it, spin up the main rotor so you could take off vertically, and then you would transition in flight. You would just switch the exhaust. Basically, it went up through the center of the, I guess the rotor hub, and then along the rotor blades out to vents at the very tips of the rotor blades. So it kind of used the exhaust as like a gas jet, to spin the main rotor. So it didn't have any like mechanics in it. So it spin it up, and it would make a heck of a noise, take off, and then they switched the engines, and the engines would then spin the propeller in forward flight, so the main rotor in forward flight. So it kind of auto-rotates, which is what a gyrocopter does. So you have this big rotor above you, but it gives you lift, but it's not driven. Your engines that are moving you forward through the air, the props that are moving you forward through the air, they provide both lift and forward momentum. And then you flare a landing, so you have a very short landing. So it's vertical takeoff, short landing, I guess. VTSL? Is that a thing? Don't know. So we put corrugated scrap in. Plank scraps. We got sticks. We got a few logs. Gonna need some tarps. Oh yeah, gonna need some tarps. So it's just stuff like this, just to pop it in, because otherwise you ain't gonna be able to make your water stills. I'm gonna put a few of them in. You don't need a lot. I mean, no one's building a house out of blue tarp. It's not exactly the most romantic material that you could use. It's, I mean, blue tarp. I suppose people are into that, like plastic and stuff, but nah. What is it? Is that reinforced? Yeah, it's just generic reinforced blue plastic tarp. Fine. Do we need to put anything else in? Have we got everything covered? Okay. Let's just do a quick mental check before we break down discussing old British aircraft. So what have we got? We have sticks. Check. We have medicinal plants, check. We got rocks, check. We got fibrous leaves, check. We got fruits, also check. That's a lot of stuff. Obviously coconuts, check. We've got physics object items that can be used to create water stills, check. Air tank, check. Lamp, check. Rocks. Did I say rocks? We got those, check. And we got most of everything that you would need in order to survive on that island. They will make a fuel can. Fuel can's probably empty. Driftwood stick, crude stick. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Cloth, clay, bricks, barrel. I don't think there's anything else we really need. No. Bearing in mind that we have a hole full of loot for the brave, so the brave can really get in there and get stuff done. It's still a very open island. We haven't closed it up. There's a lot more stuff here than there was. I guess a few more trees and some clay and stone and mineable resources. Have we put in any? Oh no. Okay, I'm talking to myself a little bit when it comes to have we put in. That means mineable resources. So I'm just going to check and see what we got here. I don't think mineable resources are going to show. So it's going to be items. That will be the rock spear gun tart. Where is it? Where are you? What is it? Driftwood. It's driftwood pile, isn't it? PQR driftwood stick. It's gonna be under either trees or rocks. See, we've done this before. Rocks, animal structures, driftwood. This is stupid. Why can't I find it? We should have some somewhere on this freaking island. I'm probably going straight past it. I'm going to have another look, but have we put some down? Did we put some down? I could have sworn that we put it somewhere. Yeah, probably over here. Driftwood. So we can always clone it if we need to. Let's go. It is just a driftwood pile. PQC driftwood stick. All right. And there's nothing. Let's go and look at trees. PC driftwood pile. Oh, it's on. Yeah, it is on trees. I'm going straight past it every time, and everyone's like, "Oh no, it's right there. Oh, you needed you keep going past it. You stupid man. I do not believe you know what you're doing. I was thinking I could do a better job, but just give me the map and I'll do it." And I'm like, yeah, all right. I don't have a problem with that. So we're going to throw a few driftwood piles in. And the reason for that is that we can then, if people need more wood, they can just mine it. Just mine it. There we go. So driftwood piles are in. Rocks. So we got big rock, clay, mining rock, clay, mining rock. Okay, we're going to need some mining rocks. And the mining rocks go in C. And they're a pain in the butt. Alright, let's put the mining rocks in the C. Put you there. We're not going to put them too deep. We will put them in the sea where they're supposed to be by, game design and stuff. And it's not fun pulling them out of the water, but, where else are you going to put your alum? I think, clay is alum, isn't it? Aluminium oxide. So we put some in. People want to build things, they can. If they want to discover them, they can. We'll put them next to rocks in the sea so that they are discoverable. Good. And we'll keep with a theme. Now the theme might get a little bit spoopy here because whoa no. So we'll be kind in this one and pop it here. So yeah, if you want to swim around and see, you can find your clay. Good. There's quite a lot of it, but it's not obvious. Well, it won't be obvious from land, especially if the game puts a load of rocks and stuff in, which it does tend to do. It's a little bit weird. I'll put a few mining rocks in as well. We're going to put these, just kind of toss them in somewhere. Actually, it might help us to. Hello. Camera does not like just doesn't like the amount of objects that we've got. That's a bit of an issue. Where are we going to put these? I mean, they kind of look a little bit like I guess a walnut whip. I think a walnut whip is probably what they look like. Considering they can be mined away, then it's not really too much of a problem, is it? If you don't like them, you get rid of them. You smash them to pieces with your hatchet, mallet, piece of over. Actually, no, you can use a coconut to do it. The coconut's pretty much useless now. I'd say shots fired, but not really. So we're going to throw these in just kind of all over the place. There's a lot of stuff on the island, but you would be surprised how little that actually is and how quick people will go through that. Throw it over here. Huh, that kind of looks like it. Yeah, I was going to say it didn't quite land flat. Let's bring you up a little bit and make sure you're just sat on the beach. Okay, I mean we'll throw a few of them. And when we got 1, 2, 3. You know what? That's probably enough. Yeah. Or is it? I'm going to put in one more here. Nah. That's enough. That's enough stuff. Right. Okay. Cool. So what we can then do is items, trees. Yeah, let's just throw in a few more bits of decoration. So what we need to do is, this is kind of where we assume most people might set up camp, or, I mean, under the trees. Nice campfire and everything sort of crackling away. That's good. So we can come along, and what I'm going to do is throw in a few bits and pieces. I'm going to keep the plants kind of together, I guess, so that what you get is like clumps of plants, but they lend themselves to paths through the woods. So the tree and then a shrub and then a tree and a shrub. So it looks like the trees are like, I don't know how you would describe it, a little less stark. There are things around them. Ficus everywhere, except that's not what I want. PP potato, no. Everything's up here. Yeah, there really isn't that like huge a variety of plants. Well, we have to use what we've got, and what we've got is going to be spun round until it's not clipping into the camera. Not clipping into the tree might mean we need to move it a little bit. That's absolutely fine. Cool. Good. So, a few more things we can do. Let's throw one of these in here. T, drop it down. I'll rotate. And that's most good. So it's just adding stuff next to the trees. It's a way of breaking up the ground, but it's also a way of not. See, we can just stuff all over the center, but I'd like pairing things up together, if that makes sense, so that things create clumps of like shrubs or whatever. And the reason for that is then you get these sort of pathways that the player will then run through, because you have to kind of assume the player will be running around holding shift down as they go. If I wanted to put something in here, is that going to make it too tight? If they want to build a building, no, chop that down. Yeah, maybe. Let's put it out here somewhere. Let's do this. Okay, that's a little bit more thoughtful. So we've left this naturally open area. There's a nice rock there. Stuff over here. Okay, cool. And then over here we can do something else. We don't necessarily need it to be as open. We're kind of assuming the player will want to use that open area there to build, if they're going to build. They might not. Players are unpredictable at the best of times. Oh, hit the microphone. So we've just got a few more things that we can throw in. So one of these in, little babby one. Cool. And we will throw you like that, like that. Cool. Good. I think I might do the same thing over here. It's far enough away so it doesn't look like we've just thrown in the same plant over and over again, which is kind of it's important to me. I do like it when the plants are a little bit varied. Cool. So we get close enough for the plants to render. Yeah, it's looking pretty sweet at the moment. That's worked out quite well. The water is still there, either side of it. Well, at least one side of it, which is nice. We have a lot of flora in. It's still fairly open, is the island. We've got a little prizes, so this over here with the lamp and the air tank and everything. We've got plenty of medicinal plants, plenty of food, plenty of stuff to build with, but not too much, because if we throw in too much, it would become the opposite of fun. It would become a little bit boring. Good. I think there are only a couple of things left to do, and that is throw in the animals, because we will need to throw in some animals, and to give it a final test. Now, I thought about testing it off camera, but I tell you what, I think we've sorted out most of the problems from last time. We could do a shorter episode next time. We could throw in some crabs, some sharks, and various bits and pieces, and give this place a final test. And then I think at that point we're pretty much done. Whoa, it's been a bit of a long journey. It's not nearly as long as it was when we did Hobbes Rest, but we've got to get this place kind of. Yeah, I think it works. We've kept it low, so we haven't built too high up in the air. We haven't added mountains. We haven't added huge cliffs and things. It's still very open, but also fairly detailed, and it's got a lot of bits and pieces. It's a shame we couldn't have kept that sea fort as like, I guess, greebles, if you will, the kind of just random texture that you get on. I guess I think ILM came up with greebles. They're those bumps and bits and pieces you see on the outside of starships, like the Star Destroyer and things. They don't really have a purpose other than to make the surface look a little bit more detailed. That's what we were using it here. It looked like an old World War II gun emplacement, but it wasn't to be. So I think we've only got one more episode, and then this is done. Oh, it's looking so much better with all the plants and stuff in. Yeah, I'm liking this. And now all the physics objects are in. It's definitely a place that you can imagine someone spending time. Good. Well, if you're liking this, leave a little like, leave a subscribe, and if you do subscribe, click the little bell, because it'll give you an option to get notifications when videos go live. Join us next time. We will throw in some animals, and we will give it a little test. Make sure the animals stay where they're supposed to stay, in here, because that's one thing the game is famous for not doing, is having the animals stay within the boundary of the island. Yeah, and you know what? I'll catch you next time.